Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you again for joining in another Acchutha's in Space series. And before I begin, I wish you all a very happy World Sight Day. And this year's theme is going to be how we are going to protect the children's vision and enhance their quality of life, being an intervention part as an optometrist. And today we have a very famous personality, Optom Thanuja Panicker. Before I hand over the stage to her, I would like to give a brief introduction about her. Optom Thanuja Panicker, ma'am, she's a distinguished Optom and a Melvin Jones Fellow, has been profoundly impacting the field of optometry through her roles as a consulting optometrist and clinical director for community eye care projects at Eyelight Optometrists, Botswana. She has a varied academic experience and expertise, mainly her graduation with distinction in optometry from Elite School of Optometry, and also additional degrees in psychology, public relations, and advertisement, and numerous accolades for her contribution to eye care and community service. She has been placed in Botswana since 2007, and since 2015 she has been dedicated to eye care service delivering Tlokweng with a license from Ministry of Health and Wellness, Botswana. Her leadership extends to serving as a director for projects and fundraising for the African Council of Optometry Board. And she also chairs the Public Health Committee along with very key roles in World Council of Optometry and various committees across Lions International and healthcare organizations in Botswana. Her extensive experience and dedication to improving eye health and education globally make her a very sound person for today's talk. And she's going to share her experience of how she has been working through like reducing the eye care, improving the eye care quality and services at Botswana. Over to you, Dr. Tanuja ma'am. Thank you very much
Uh,
for joining. Over to you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the lovely words of introduction. Appreciate the opportunity given by both Optom Dr. Gopinath and Optom Dr. Sharanya and Acchutha Eye Care Institute of Optometry. I've been observing the milestones the institute has been undergoing to inculcate by the name Acchutha, which means infallible. I'm sure the students coming out of the institute will mark the name in the history for dedicated optometry practice. And I would like to have a moment of silence in prayer for our India's visionary legend, Sir Ratan Tata. So let's close our eyes for a minute, and I will continue after a minute. May his soul rest in peace. Botswana is a landlocked country in the southern part of Africa, and we pass through the Tropic of Capricorn. We are one of the countries which is bounded by Tropic of Capricorn. When I used to be in India and studying in geography classes, we have only learned about this in history, and it is great to actually pass this point. I've crossed this point many times, which is part of Botswana. We crossed through from the capital city through other towns where we had gone and done outreaches. So it is really a wonderful thing to be here. Incidentally, India is a part of the Tropic of Cancer. We are exporters of diamonds as a country, and also land of zebras. I have not put zebras here because they went on a camel ride. The nephew, who's 16-year-old, and for it is for his birth that I visited Botswana 16 years ago, and they are on a camel ride out there. And we are also known to take care of largest population of elephants in the world, and known for landscapes and incredible wildlife. We are not only good at taking care of human beings here, it's a safe country, unlike what people used to perceive way back in India. It is a safe country not only for human beings but also for wild animals. So it's place where we people come for safaris. That's a short note about Botswana. We just celebrated our 30th, on 30th of September, our 58th independence. And I owe a lot to this country, though I was born there and India molded me and gave me the education and the basic background. But the further life was definitely given to us, to me as a family by Botswana. So I would like to play a small tribute video, Upstanding, because at the background we'll have the national anthem being played. So it's a short video about Botswana, and then from there we will continue. So here we are. Optom Dr. Gopi mentioned about World Sight Day special. We have a theme every year. This year's theme is Children Love Your Eyes. We know myopia is becoming an endemic, and it's a primary public health concern throughout the world. And of course, because of this rising myopia and use of phones, especially post-COVID, there's a lot of episodes of people having digital eye strain, even children having problems with the eyes. We should motivate them, create awareness during this day. This is a special day where we call in global attention to promote prevention of blindness and also create awareness, because most of the time it is because of lack of awareness that people do not access healthcare or even eye care. So you as optometrists and some of non-optometrists who are attending, you should encourage people, children especially, not to avoid always being on the phone. Sometimes I find that the practice, when the parents come, they just want to get the eyes tested and give the phone to the child so that the child gets distracted. That's a normal habit we find. So right from the start, the parents should be, this is because of lack of awareness, even at the end of parents. So it is important to counsel parents and also create public media awareness, not to be on the phone all the time. And of course, we know that the 20-20 rule, every 20 minutes, look at 20 feet distance, do not read in dim light, eat healthy green leafy vegetables, which are good for the eyes, and encourage children to spend more time outdoors. We see, as optometrists, we see most of the time this being circulated, but we should ensure it reaches the mass. Now, what is special about community service is we create awareness. We indirectly become an aid, or as a primary eye care professional, we try to prevent blindness. And here, it was another opportunity last year to be at UAE, Dubai, at Optiverse conference, where we had to again, I was exactly there on 13th October last year, and it is an honor again to be on this forum to give an insight on my experiences in Botswana. So now the Lions International is the body which started this World Sight First Sight campaign, and thereafter it was taken over by International Agency for the Blindness and Prevention of Blindness and World Health Organization. There are various ways of creating awareness. We used to have poster competition. We used to have painting competition for children. Leos are the cubs who become part of the lions. We can have these kind of activities. Lions also do, as a lion a member and the district chairperson of two countries, we try to do twinning between two countries, Botswana and Zimbabwe. Here we did zonal activity where many clubs from a zone, Francistown area, which is 400 kilometers away from the capital. That's where we converged and did community service. There were two Optoms and two Lions. One Optom was from Optom Srujan here, who you find on the picture here. He also contributed to this community ICAP the last week, around 5th of October. We also involve business people to become stakeholders in this kind of eye care. These are the tips which you should take home, because most of us are engrossed only in making our financial. Yes, we need financial support to sustain, but what are we giving back as primary eye care professionals in the prevention of blindness, which we were actually created for by ophthalmologists? That is what we are supposed to serve in a way, and we have found various ways. Like, for example, this partner is a business person who is into distribution of IT products. They are called NTG, and they are originally from India, and then they have established here, but they do serve by donations. They started giving reading glasses for us to go and do clinical services, but not all the time we get donation. Most of the time it is by my own private practice. Not that we are millionaires or we are very rich, but we are rich at heart to give away. We do at least 100 screening, and for a population of 2.6 million, 100 for India, it might sound very, very less, but for Botswana, it's a big number every month, and donate around 60 to 70 free reading glasses, especially for the elderly. Of course, we do school screening. I have seen Optom Gopi coming out with a lot of research work, and he has research through Acchutha Institute also, which has been published latest on, I think, children eye care, children eye care and vision screening publication. That was very impactful, and which was closer to the World Sight theme. And we also involved in the cultural association in the country. This is Botswana Tamil Cultural Association. This is our last year president who invited us to speak on eye care. We made it a little interesting. We started speaking in the language, the home language, which is Tamil, for this cultural association, and started having quiz questions, related basic quiz questions, and then we offered prizes which included microwave and sunglasses, those kind of things, where the family gathered with the children, and that was a way of creating awareness. We did involve the Indian High Commissioner, the current High Commissioner, Mr. Bharat Kumar Kutati, who also started. Of course, he can go to any place to get his eye tested, but he wanted to be part of the community service we did on that day. So these are the various ways we can reach out to community. It need not be only Facebook, media, TV broadcasts. When we do one-on-one, when we meet them face-to-face, it is quite different from what we post on the media. Of course, posting on the media also helps, because a lot of people are on the media, but we are contradicting ourselves by saying, to an extent, saying that don't be always on the phone and don't be always on the laptop, and then we are using that as a source also. Of course, we use it very wisely. That is what I want to say. And that's my alma mater, Elite School of Optometry and Unit of Medical Research Foundation. I think it would bring you your handsome smile, Optom Gopi, because you and Optom Dr. Sharanya are from the same institute as mine. And it is a humble moment to be a part of this institute, because we carry forward a lot of things. And when we are there, we would have not realized how much of information and teaching and principles were inculcated in us on patient care, be it ethics, integrity, everything has been given to us, that even if you wake us from the sleep, I always say we speak only this. There was a time I underwent surgery. I had to undergo a leg surgery, and as I was recovering from anesthesia, the doctor said I was talking only about community service, which is the next event I should go and conduct. And I was very zapped by the way the brain can register these kind of things. So what we teach at institutes like Elite School, Acchutha Institute of Optometry, and various other institutes of optometry that has a standard curriculum and a standard set of principles, it goes a long way to the student and their career. Like me, I am here. What I am is because of my teacher here, and also the Institute of Optometry, Elite School, Chennai, India. And that's Professor Enoch, who had visited at that time with his partner and this is our batch, and we have taken group photo with him. And there's a lot to tell about Professor Enoch. Um, I'm just thinking why this video has gone, but it's okay. I'll continue. So Professor Enoch was based from the University of Berkeley. He gave us the curriculum for the conception of Shankar Nethralaya Elite School of Optometry to be conceived, and donated a lot of books, though it was the brainchild of Dr. S.S. Badrinath. It was his curriculum we initially started. And that's our batch, my batchmate. Both, we are called Bofors. We belong to the fourth batch. Institute started in 1984, and I joined in 88 and completed in 1992. That is 32 years as the number of the teeth we have, if we have the teeth. And you can see some of my classmates here. Some of them you will recognize. The former principal, Dr. Optom, Dr. Krishna Kumar, is very close to heart. And we have the other, only two male candidates at our batch. And Dr. Shankar has done his optometry and taken up ophthalmology. And he's one of I think he's only one of that kind in India to have done both optometry, started with optometry and ophthalmology. Whenever we call him for webinars, he would say, I'm more initially of an optometrist more than an ophthalmologist, but it has helped me to grow as an ophthalmologist and become a very good, great oculoplastic surgeon. I did mention KK being very close to heart because of kindness towards elderly people, geriatric, and currently he's doing freelancing education throughout India, and it is nice to know. And we have other optoms here like Optom Kani, who is doing very well in UAE, and as we do have met her last year at the World Sight event. And each and every one. We have Prema, who's heading the School of Optometry, Lotus College of Optometry in Mumbai. And other friends here, Kaveri, Sonia, and Christine, Geetu. Hi, Geetu used to always take her to her house and be so affectionate and caring. And Jayashri is the topper of her class, closely followed by me. You have heard how I was taught, how a little word from the fingers of another, a ray of a light from another soul touched the darkness of my mind. And I found myself, found the world, and found God. It is because my teacher cared about me. I repeat, it is because my teacher cared about me that I could work for myself and others. If you care, if we can make the people of this world care, the blind will triumph over blindness. These were the words of Helen Keller, the vision ambassador, who did not have vision and could not hear. And she challenged in 1925 at Cedar Point the Lions to be the Knights of Blinds. And from there, we started this World Sight Day First Sight campaign. So as I wanted to dedicate, as I mentioned in the last few lines, I wanted to dedicate the lines of Helen Keller to my guru, popularly known as the man of vision at the Temple of Vision, Shankara Netralia, Padma Bhushan Dr. S.S. Badrinath, the uncommon charismatic leader. He has left a deep grassroots marks in us as students. I'm sure leaders like you, visionaries like you, Optom visionaries like you, Dr. Sharanya, Dr. Gopinath, you are going to inculcate the same kind of roots into our students. Formerly, I was into academics and was spreading the knowledge which Dr. Badrinath and Dr. E. Dilingam had inculcated in us. And it was a beautiful experience in Mumbai and Pune in the Western zone. And from there, I reached here as a private practitioner, Botswana, 16 years ago. Now, how did I start this? I had come to visit my brother's son who was about to be born, and they were already working in a place called Opticals Botswana, and they was invited. I wanted to see the child, and I'm as old as that child in Botswana, 16 years. That's how I keep calculating him, calculating the time I spent here. The starting was not easy because it was a challenge when I was given an opportunity to apply for the job at Opticals Botswana. We had to go through Botswana Health Professions Council. The challenge was they did allow me to write the exam. After that, there was a letter which came saying that, are you the same person? Because my certificate showed only initials with the name, that is Thanuja CS and not the surname. And when I moved towards Mumbai Western area and I worked for the Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai, we had to add the surname Panicker. So they thought it was two different people, and it took 7 months of struggle. I would never wanted to give up, simply not because of the job, not because of the family being here, but I would say mostly because I was thinking, how can they say this certificate from elite school is not this certificate from elite school is not my certificate. Why are they questioning me? And that shook me a lot because I'm very attached to my alma mater, and they said this is not valid. So I had to go from pillar to post, even try to go to the Indian High Commission in Botswana, and later on Indian High Commission in India. I following a call to that time the principal of the college elite school of optometry was Optom Dr. Krishna Kumar, and he helped me thoroughly, giving the special letters stating that this person is the same, and they wouldn't understand because they are very particular about the names on your passport and the name on your certificate. So this is also a lesson for many of us who are listening to this. Please ensure your name is typed correctly on your passport and certificates, because this cost me 7 months of emotional trauma, mental trauma, which I was going through, but I was head on because of the loyalties and the attachment to the institute. I wanted to prove that I am from this institute, not anywhere else. And not only that, probably they also had doubts because two people were already an optometrist from the family. They had done from School of Optometry, Mumbai, my sister and the brother. And then they would be surprised that there's another person, and they couldn't believe that three people can be from. And during that time, there were a lot of fake certificates being presented across the world. So all these reasons led them to question on these. And finally, after 7 months of struggle, believe me, it was financial also. And it was then my sister supported me, Shailaja Panicker. She's right here along with me. And I will never forget the support which he rendered financially, because we would not be given the full salary, even though you have an employer. Until you're registered with the health council, you are not allowed to practice. So I was asked to function as an as a lab manager instead of the practicing, but that was a good job. Though my passion was always on the clinical side and patient care management. That was the first challenge I experienced, and I got registration. And without the registration with the Health Professional Council in Botswana, you're not allowed to practice. So I started practicing and continued practicing for 5 years. And that is when the Ministry of Health and Wellness Botswana decided that individual optoms can go ahead and apply, especially the foreign optoms can go ahead and apply for private practice license once you are in the country for 5 years. So I decided, what made me decide? Three factors. One of the first factors, you will think it is finance only, but it is not finance only. The first factor was I wanted to do community service, which was inculcated by my alma mater. And if you go to Shankar Nethralaya, you will know what I'm trying to say about dedicated patient care. And I see that some of the responses of patient care being rendered at Acchutha Eye Hospital, also your hospital. I did see some comments. So these are the things which makes us feel elated and feel like you have achieved a Nobel Prize rather, because of the words which they give, the feedback given by our patients, because that was what was inculcated way back right, when we studied. So 5 years after doing work, I didn't have the freedom to do community service. For everything, we need to ask the employer. Not that the employer was not non-interfering generally. Of course, they would want sales, but the target and the sales was not as bad as some of the optical outlets, even in India. The boss was or the employer was gave the freedom as a manager to run your show as long as you produce the sales. And we explained to them it's not always about sales, it's about patient care. And we had to draw a clear line, because working in a hospital setup is not similar to working in a private setup. Private setup, you need to balance patient satisfaction and also the financial part. And everything is like a pyramid. And you revolve around the pyramid in circle. So when I applied, I did get, and the ministry approved of my license. And when I approached my employer, he was not too happy about it. That was the second biggest challenge I faced in Botswana, and he was not at all happy about it. And he said, I would according to him, people coming from India for a work, they generally think they are not financially strong, which is in a way true. We are going outside because we want to be financially established also, because those times we were not paid well, even in India. I'm not sure how it is now, but generally the payment package is it's because of the standard of, or the conversion rate is much better in a country like Botswana. So I decided to move out. One of the reason being not able to do community service. Second reason, not able to attend certain meetings. Medical aid, we are covered by medical insurance for patient eye care, which is predominant. Though we have patients who do not have medical insurance. So what happened was I decided to inform the employer that I want to leave because of this. And I went through a very tough time, because he said, without me, how I would want to see how you're going to start. And that was shook me up again. Not like I collapsed, but it does shake you up. It shatters you, because I looked upon him as a father figure who brought me from India to here and invited me for a job when I was visiting this side. So I decided to tell him that I would not be able to partner with him, because the partnership conditions, he is not an optometrist, he's an accountant. So the partnership conditions were not feasible, and there were a lot of chains. So I would want my freedom to have my independency in my practice to choose. Sometimes I would want to give a patient a discount, which I would at my discretion, rather than running to an employer to ask, because he is not at the point of service delivery, and he would never understand what is the feeling between the practitioner and the patient. So I went back to the Competition Authority, which is a legal body, as well as a body which oversees these kind of issues, and also the Ministry of Health to seek advice, because the contract with the employer states that you are not supposed to open a practice for 20-kilometer radius from your setup which you are going to start. So I decided to take their opinion, and they said that no, this is given by the government of Botswana. Nobody has any right to interfere with it. You have the right to go ahead and open your practice right in front of your employer. I'm saying this openly because that's the truth, and you can open it right in front of the employer, and nobody is going to stop you from going ahead. And the contract doesn't apply to the laws. The contract created is not the actual contract according to the Ministry of Trade. So what I'm trying to again relay at this juncture is, sometimes we can be threatened by our employers in such situations, especially when you're outside the country, that okay, this is the law, you have signed a contract. They will be holding you onto the contract, but you can always seek. And honestly, the one who I didn't know, which was a new land for me, those are the authorities who helped me come out of this situation than some of our own people who are our employers here. So it was quite paradoxical, but it is a lesson learned that do not judge people. Sometimes you will get help from unknown sources, unknown to you, and out of the blue, maybe sent by God as God's messengers. So when I started, I did not have financial support. So I decided to sell my property in India. If I go back, I do not have a house there. I sold my property in India to have a practice here. And one of my students helped me sell while I was here, and mediated it. And that was the student from MEH School of Optometry, Mumbai. He's called Ali Hussain Kandiwala. And there were other students also, like who are still supporting us from here whenever we need help, like Sadik Sapadia, Ashish Kulkarni. So sometimes the teacher, the educator, student bond goes. Can you believe it is over 20 years since I've been maintaining the bonds with, or the students are maintaining the bonds with the educator from institutes like MEH School of Optometry and Aditi Jyoth Institute of Optometry, seeking to understand that our bond with teachers is like our parents. It never fades away. You can always go back to your educator or the mother institute to seek help when needed, when need be. And I must say, family also is important. My brother was there to support to an extent, and a family friend, Mr. Ilango Chandrasekharan from Botswana, who's a versatile personality and a businessman from India, who supported me by giving me the rental money to go and book the place, because the place was there. I didn't have that kind of cash because the employers stopped paying me. The employers took my sister out of the job because remember, we were working for the state, and that is also it's a double-edged sword. When you work for when 2 family or 3 family members work for the same employer, you can be played around with, and that's what happened. And they removed my sister for no reason from there, and she was also traumatized. Now you can see that we didn't get any benefits which we were supposed to get, like the long-term benefits of working for them for 5 years, and the sister was working for them for 10 years, and we had to leave, and I had to sell so whenever I speak to my staff, we have to employ nearly all should be local staff, because we want to empower them and train them and share the knowledge from what we have gained from a billion population to a 2.6 million population, because their exposure is much less. I would always tell them, if you do not harm my instrument, do not push or place anything closer to my instrument which will damage, because that is my house. which I sold in India and invested here for patient care. So that bad was situation. And there was a friend. I mentioned about our Bofos, our batchmates, but there are other friends who used to be had given moral support, like Optom Jyoti Balaji, Optom Vishwanath, and my best buddy, which you all know them if you're in the optometry field. She's a wonderful educator. Optom Anuja. I had to stay in a house when I went to India, Chennai, and because I wanted to take blessings of Dr. S.S. Badrinath before, with the private practice license which I received, I wanted to take his blessings before I even sold the house and get back with the money to open the setup. And it is not easy because we have to pay in 6 to 7 times more than what we pay in India to have it established. So I'm thankful to God for all the experiences given and all the people, whether it is positive and negative people. Even today, I have good relation, I would say, to an extent, though he would not have forgiven me. My ex-employer has his lab, and I do send my orders to him along with the other labs. So I would want to maintain peace with people, and I tried my best. Though I call a spade and speak my mind, I would love to maintain relation with people, and it gives me a soul satisfaction that I did something back to him in a good way. Though he was not as good as he should be as an elderly. So this is my patient, and this is where the clinic is, and it is closed. It is a little out on the outreach, but not very far from the main city. And every Sunday, we have a free eye testing day, though we accommodate the normal patients, paying patients or a medical aid patients, because we want to promote 90% of blindness is preventable. And for want of just a consultation, I don't want people to not to have an eye examination and go blind. So that is in partnership with the Lions Club of Greater Gaborone, but the main person, the Eyelight, is the one who does that, and we have linked Greater Gaborone, the club which I belong to promote the club, and as an activity, as a permanent perennial activity, which is ongoing at our practice. Now, from there, it gives me a smile, and also again pleasure, and a kind of reflection when I was given an opportunity by God. I would not say by even members, but I would say God is the one. It's nice, interesting to see the God's play. I became the chairperson of the very association where the members were, and where the particular person who was my examiner at the ophthalmic board at Botswana Health Professional Council, who raised these questions about whether I'm really an optometrist. How can 3 people from a family would have been an optometrist, and is this certificate true or fake? And which was authenticated by the Indian High Commission, Botswana High Commission in India, and Indian High Commission in Botswana, and through Dr. KK. This certificate was authenticated, and I am sitting at the level of chairperson as Botswana Optometrists Association to lead the very member who was an examiner. So it is quite a play from God. I would see Acchutha, Krishna's play here, because how else could God show to this gentleman, see, you would have stopped this person. And if I had given up and this person also stopped me, the Optoms would not have got a person who could bring the optometry level of Botswana to a different, to give optometry of Botswana a different face value, I must say, because again, through Dr. Krishna Kumar, we could start a unique course, a genetic course. He's also our guru at the Institute for Genetic Course at Shankar Netralia. He used to teach genetics, but at the moment he's international faculty and a faculty at Bangalore. Institute, and after he left Shankar Netralia. So we had this course for the Optoms, and I could liaise with Novartis to bring in funds so that the course was freely available for the Optom and all the optometrists, and the payment was given, we were able to pay for the course. And they were also kind. Dr. Kumara Manikavale and my dean were very kind that 30% of the fees was given back to Botswana Optometrists Association as a fundraiser, so that it came back while we were still struggling for funds, because our fees our funds is just the annual fee, which is a very nominal amount for optometrists. So it also gave me an experience to be. I would thank these members and God for putting me up for giving me the responsibility of chairperson, because I was able to do a lot of CPD case webinars for the whole year. We could continue to be a member of World Council of Optometry and African Council of Optometry in good standing, and also liaise with various bodies like Botswana Medical Regulatory Authority and Ministry of Health as stakeholders to work on the new principles and policies of private practice license guidelines and the Botswana Health Professions Act. So we could actually be there and guide them, and that was what God brought us to after all this struggle. And of course, because the passion was towards community service, apart from private practice, I continue to take care of two countries, Botswana and Zimbabwe, for community eye care service as a lion that is independent of our private practice, going out there to do eye care services. And I do not want to use the word proud, but humbly say that we are one of the very few optoms or private practice which does community service throughout the length and breadth of country, where private practitioners do not have a setup. Most of them want to be in the central area, but we go out to the outreaches as far as 800 kilometers, thousands from the city by road, and serve them. So it is an opportunity which I would not have got if I have not taken up private practice, and if I have not made that decision where I'm dependent on an employer, be it a hospital, be it an educational institute. All these was a preparation for me to be established here. When I reflect back, I would say, this is another miracle which happened in my life. He is Mr. Sivalingam Naika, my husband. He was introduced to me in Botswana. He's basically a South African Indian who relocated. His ancestors relocated way back in Durban, KwaZulu-Natal, as sugarcane farmers. They were brought in by the British and they were left there instead of taking back to India on the ship. So he is the descendant of one such farmer, and he was into hospitality industry, and he proposed me through the labor consultant who's a Botswana lady and a good friend of mine. I got friendship with a lot of local people also, and it is amazing to know them. And you would not believe that this lady wanted us to join together and then introduce us. And I was saying I was not willing to meet, because the moment you're married and settled, I thought most of the time they would interfere with your community service or your practice. So I decided to chase them away by saying all the negatives. One of the worst negatives about me was cooking. Right from 12th standard, I said to my mom, I'm not going to be the typical cook which you have been cooking and doing, Mama. I'm going to be independent and make my own living. So women out there, we are not only meant for cooking. I feel cooking, driving, all this drains our energy. The people say, where do you get the energy to do your community service? At this point, I want to reveal the secret. The energy lies is, do not waste your time too much. I'm not banning you from cooking and telling you that your husbands should not be fed. What I'm trying to say is that energy, too much of involvement in cooking, feeding the kids, our life, women's life revolves around this. But these days, where men also support us, men are supposed to be, by the way, best cooks in the world and gynecologists. And my husband is a good example. He's not a gynecologist, but a very good cook, which takes care of that part. And slowly he supports me in the practice as a director, as a financial admin, and he takes care of the profits and losses, and also helps me in bringing supplies from South Africa. And this guy, I chased him away, literally saying, I'm not a good cook, I'm not a marriage material, I'm not good, I won't be a good homemaker. I might put things in order. I like systematic things. But you will not find me like a typical, maybe he's dreaming that I'm in that typical Indian good housewife who will cook and do work outside. So I chased him away. I told all my negatives. And this man was perseverant, came after me. He said, I want to marry you only, and I don't mind you doing community service. I will support you in the community service. And that's how we got married, and miracles happen. And why I said is a risk. We took risk. I took a risk um, in getting married, and hoping that he will support me as he promised. And that promise is kept until today. And he took a risk because he left his job. He was managing Nando's and KFC's and Mozambican restaurant, and he was in a big post. He left everything because I said, I will not move out of Botswana because I'm established here and I don't want to restart from South Africa. So his family also was so supportive, and we need supportive people, and you will do not get disheartened if first one doesn't work, if second marriage doesn't work, if it doesn't work, somewhere miracles will happen. If third doesn't work, fourth doesn't work, somewhere miracles God will send. If you have been doing good, God will send miracles. And this was a miraculous thing which happened in my life. I don't want to cry. I wanted to be bold. Don't want to shed tears, which I did in school, in elite school also. If somebody says a small thing, the tears will start flowing out. Optom Gopi, you can check out with my batchmates and my seniors, especially. They would say, "Hey, she, she might cry any minute. The tears will start flowing." But I don't want to do that. I want to show not even tears of joy at the moment. There is an element of film of tear coming through the glasses. I'm removing the glasses, but it's just there. It's not flowing out anymore, because we have to be thankful for what we are today. A new perspective on research was given to me by two people, Optom Gopinath Madeshwaran. I'm not saying because Gopi is moderating this session and coordinating it, but it is the truth, and they know what I meant. I was not a research person. I'm not into research. I'm more of a clinical person who wants to touch patients, feel them, and have a psychic reading, make them feel comfortable. This was what I wanted to convey to my patients. But one fine day, we have an elite school of optometry, our institute. Patients having some refractive errors, plus refractive errors after post-COVID, while they didn't have any refractive error much before, they had an attack or an infection. They were infected with COVID. So from there, she picked it up. This scientist from LV Prasad Eye Institute, but originally a product of a elite school of optometry. I'm saying the school. I want the audience of Acchutha Institute of Optometry. The students are the one who are going to be the gems on the crown of the institute. So I keep mentioning. So Prem Nandini Sadgun, again from Elite School of Optometry, now at the scientists at LV Prasad Eye Institute, making us all feel elated with her humble knowledge and scientific outcomes. She came to me, inboxed me, and then from there I said, at least let me. It is because she approached me, I decided, okay, let the scientists told me something, let me do. I was not at all interested in doing research, honestly. Though I saw the World Sight Day research message from Optom Gopi, which says that, yeah, research is the baseline, is the guideline. We know it when we had way back in school. But um, exposure on research, because research was not given a priority in the optometry field then, if I'm right, Optom Gopi. So later on, I decided to do a topic on two continents, on case studies between two continents post-COVID, and this was accepted at the Centennial Conference of South African Optometric Association in July 2024. And it was a great moment to present this, because I was only thinking, if not for Prem Nandini putting that message, a single line, I would not have continued with responses and achieved this. And currently we are doing another topic, couple of studies with the support from Optom Gopi. Why I say you are a very humble person. You make it very easy to approach, and you have a lot of patience to dissect the data, um, like numbers and figures, and come out with the inferences. So that is what I saw in you, and it made me feel more comfortable to do more research. So we have to catch hold of these kind of gems if we want to achieve something in a new perspective, in a new step which we are to undertake. That is another message I want to convey. And the topic which I was doing with Optom Gopi was approved as a poster in the International Ophthalmology Conference, but I was not able to travel because my Canadian visa is still not ready. So the date elapsed, and I had to write to them that I would not be able to do. I'm also doing a wonderful topic with Optom Gopi on oculocutaneous. He's the author of it also, oculocutaneous albinism, which is a unique topic, because here the people with albinism are mutilated and used for various purposes, and it is quite heartbreaking, and they also have visual impairment, and we could help them to the best of possible. And these are the contacts, the network we developed. The network developed because of the roles we play. It is not enough to just have academic roles or roles as an optometrist at workplace or a private practitioner alone. We need to network with other optometry association, and I got chance to network with the president of South African Optometry Association at the Centennial Conference, and also this Western Regional Coordinator. The regional coordinator for World Council of Optometry, Dr. Pat, and she's Dr. Nivain, SAOA. And we have this ambassador from IACL African region. And we get to meet people, and now we are on a platform where we are exchanging information, where we could come with new kind of ideas to promote education. So that is what we are working on at the moment. And the Zimbabwe Optometrists Association executive committee member, we met them there also. This is me at the World Health Organization program held by the Ministry of Health. So because of our participation, if I had stuck with my employer there and not decided to get away to achieve my dreams, my goals, my ambition, as Chief said, are you coming back? After he took his hand and blessed my head when I extended my private practice license, are you not coming back and serving Shankar Netralaya? I said, sir, give me some more time. I wanted to earn a lot of money, because I don't want to go there without money, and money is needed for whether buying education materials, Of course, we can give lectures, but if you want instruments or we want to give community service, readers, in certain things, definitely we need financial support. So I told him I would want to earn more. And so he started saying, "You are ambitious, lady. You are ambitious," and he blessed me. And yes, that ambition led me to be part of the World Health Organization meet at Ministry of Health, Botswana, and other stakeholders meet. About the Melvin Jones, which was mentioned, the Melvin Jones Fellow, anybody can donate to Lions International Foundation and an amount, and that amount goes to either a hunger project or cancer project or vision or diabetes project. You can choose when you donate. And this Melvin Jones Trophy is based on that donation money, which is going for worldwide cause of Lions International, be it visual impairment. I usually take for vision projects. I donate for vision projects. And this was awarded to me by the international director and his wife in 2022. And it is the district, we call it a district which has two countries and Zimbabwe. And the lions of those lion officers, executives of that district honored this. And it was an humbling moment. And I received this much after I honored our chief, late Dr. S.S. Badrinath, with Melvin Jones Fellow Award. Along with my student, same year, I honored Optom Khan Mohammed Usman. What I like about Usman is, though he's an optometrist basically from Municipal Eye Hospital, then he did from Lotus College, now he's practicing in Saudi Arabia. He has a physical challenge, but he did not allow it to be on the top and continue to be a passionate optometrist. You would find him on all the forums talking. Let us do this, let us promote optometry, let us remove the quacks totally from the system. What are we doing at the national councils? These are the questions he constantly raises. And people would mistake him because he keeps questioning. At least there is somebody to rattle the system so that somebody's eyes open and one of the Optom leaders can go and sort ourselves out, because we have to eradicate this mushrooming of non-certified courses or not affiliated courses. And we have the then Assistant Minister of Health here. Currently, he's promoted to the Minister of Health, and it was an honor to receive the Excellence Award for Community Eye Care Service. And it was a blessing moment, because it is not easy to establish yourself in a new land without knowing the language and having translators and eventually learning the language and the culture and the people. And you will finally find when there are beautiful people out there in the world. Africa is not a dark continent as it is called. It is a blessed continent. It is a blessing for many people who are from other continents. It supports, it feeds. It also feeds people, and people are very, very tolerant and supportive. You have different kinds of people everywhere, but I would say as patients, they are the one of the best you can ever get. Non-complaining. If they complain, it's only for 5% of, and they try complain. Non-complaining means they adapt they understand, they give time, and they always talk about patience, because it takes times for us to get things established. We also donated to our alma mater, Elite School of Optometry, for the best community eye care service done by the optometrists in that particular year, in memory of my late late Mr. CNS Panicker. And that was, I decided to give that as soon as I got my authentication certificate stating that I am indeed an optometrist from Elite School of Optometry, got my health council certificate, and got my first salary in Botswana. I sent it to my alma mater. If you are students of this institute or any Acchutha Institute or any institute, please remember to remember to give back not only to your community but also to your institute. Go back and help them in any form and support them is the next word, pearls of wisdom or pearls of suggestions or points I would want to convey across. And we also supported as Eyelight to the annual outgoing ESO Student Award for 10 years, for the next 10 years. I wanted this award in the name of Padma Bhushan, late Dr. S.S. Badrinath. We are still seeking permission. The current principal of Elite School, Optom Anu, is trying her best, and she said she'll come back to me because she knows my heart is on this, to name this award for the outgoing student in the name of, because there is no honor from Elite School for Dr. S.S. Badrinath yet, and I want to be the first one to do it. So I want to be the first one to do it, and that is how you should also be encouraging your institute people and your educators. You don't have to get big things. A small gesture is enough for your teachers to feel content and happy that, yes, I created this from the grassroots, and that is what has flourished as a tree. And these are the trophies which me as an individual, as an optometrist, gave to Lions for the best community eye care services by their class. There can be a lot of services by Lions, like feeding the hungry, as I mentioned, diabetic projects, cancer projects, or Leo projects separately. But we would want them to do eye care service, and disaster management is also one. But I would rather focus on eye care, and if they have done well, we did honor an Optom, a late Optom who passed on due to COVID from Botswana, Dr. Rejoice Mohammadi, a trophy in his name, and is awarded every year. And I must mention one Mr. Sundar Rajan Yegnasamy, who is also one of my mentor, who is no more and has been supportive of such community care services. And also he supports as an optometrist. And an award, a trophy in his honor is also given. And we are, because of this continuous hard work and commitment and the ambition to grow well in your profession. Way back, I would want to get you way back in 1980s, 80, 84s and 88. Some of our seniors went to the institute management and asked them what is our future. We do not know. This is not affiliated to any university. The course is the curriculum is from Berkeley University, but the course is not affiliated. And many batches did not have affiliation. That didn't stop us from being optometrists wherever we are. That is what I wanted to say. We have one here, Optom Sajish Kumar from the third batch, who is shining in USA, and we went away with the best optometrist award of the year at World Council of Optometry last year conference in Melbourne. And a person who didn't have money to establish a practice and was struggling to sell her property in India, to establish a practice and save to and attend these kind of conferences and be, of course, partly the conferences was supported by Botswana Optometrists Association, and the other part was taken. I funded for myself to go there, but other conferences I did go on my own. It is because of constant perseveration and time management and not letting it go, not letting the negatives come into your life, and let the negatives make you more charged up as a positive person. So these are all my juniors in college who I never knew, but met at the international conference, and it was a great moment. I also happened to meet the World Council of Optometry President there, Dr. Sandra Block. And today there is a lot of peace and settlement as a professional, because those days the certificates taken by the institute was written back to us because they wanted us to go and do offline other courses, distance learning courses, because some of them question what will happen to me. But I would say our educators, our conceivers, our teachers, our mentors, like Dr. S.S. Badrinath, knew what he wanted to do and what he wanted to come. It's not about this. Yes, today's standards, we need affiliation to the universities because of a lot of mushrooming of courses without any head or tail or body, and they run it anyhow. So that is necessary in this day, but he had that vision for us, and today we are serving. And not even a single time, a lesson for all of us. I did have encounters where ophthalmologists would try to change your prescription, or they would show very here and there, but when they know you're from this institute, they would not do much. Again, the background of your institute matters, because they know your teachers have educated you thoroughly, so they will not interfere much, but still there will be an element of interference. And still, till today, I would say, I would thank God that I have not had a negative encounter or a bad encounter with an ophthalmologist, to the extent that know your scope, do not cross your lines, do not force yourself. Now I've got a doctorate, I'm an ophthalmologist. Stop doing that. It should not be in the mind. That education is for whether you have a doctor in optometry or you don't have a doctor in optometry. You do your patient care as an optometrist, what you're being asked to do. The moment you get that, you cannot stand thinking to compete with an ophthalmologist. I always think I am created by an ophthalmologist. And today we have a lot of referrals into our practice by an ophthalmologist because of this kind of multidisciplinary approach and harmony and kind of patient care in collaboration with the ophthalmologist. Work within your scope. If you think, of course, in Botswana, we are allowed to prescribe medicines, which is a great thing because of the involvement of a very senior optometrist, Optom Moditsane. He was working for Botswana Health Professional Council before, and he ensured that this scope was approved by the council, and he brought it to light, and we are allowed to prescribe medicine. But when we know this steroids, you need to have a chain, a restriction, refer to an ophthalmologist. Maintain your relation with them. You don't have to become a surgeon. You don't have to, of course, some countries we are allowed to do LASIK. If they are okay with it, you can go ahead and do it. But hospital setup is not like a private practice. At private practice, you're not under an ophthalmologist, but you're on par with an ophthalmologist, and you work hand in glove as primary eye care professional in true sense of preventing blindness. So risk more, live your values, forget the mistake, not the lesson. Stay humble, respect time, be kinder than expected, deliver more than is needed, shatter your limits, transcend your fears. Remember to smile. I realized that Optom Gopi has a very fascinating smile, just like mine. Dream big, but start small. Never give up. Miracles do happen. It has happened many times in my life throughout the challenges. It always seems impossible until it is done. Sir Nelson Mandela, we fondly call him Mariba, and he is father of the African nation. We will never be destroyed from outside. We will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose, it will be because we destroy ourselves from within. Negative thoughts. What will people think? Why should I do this? Oh, he said something. And what is happening there in her life or his life? We destroy ourselves. We waste our time and energy by negativity. Our concern shall not be if God is on our side. But our most significant concern is to be on God's side. For God is always right. May the will of God prevail. Leave nothing for tomorrow, which can be done today. I would add one more. Now. I'm a now person. Do it now. We would not know what will happen the next moment. Do it now. Pula. May there be rain. That's what it means. It is a salute word like Jai Hind. Thank you once again for the opportunity. Hope it was not too long.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was wonderful. I was truly inspired the way you remembered your mentors and teachers, the resilience and the perseverance towards getting your license, stepping into your private practice, patient care, community care, the relationship you have having with your faculty, like a student back home at India, and the great support from your family, and how you are empowering the local people at Botswana. It's truly and the way you believe in miracles, and it's really happening. I'm very happy to have you. And any words from Saranya ma'am before we take up questions?
No, absolutely inspiring. I'm sorry, my video is just not turning on for some reason, but absolutely inspiring, Tan. Especially, how at every point you said it was just a challenge. It was never a negative connotation to it. So I think that's a wonderful positive experience for us to take away from what you've said today. Congratulations, and wishing you many, 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 many more years of absolute success. Thank you so much for participating in our Inspire session and sharing your journey with us. I think it'll serve to inspire a lot of students. So thank you.
We do have a question from Mr. Saravanan. He is a community outreach head at Acchutha Eye Care. He wants to know, is there any steps taken in Botswana to reduce the prevalence of diabetic retinopathy?
Yes, most certainly. We have a team of a task force committee at the Ministry of Health, headed by an ophthalmologist, and they have ophthalmic nurses as well as optometrists. And they did a huge research on diabetes, and diabetes is on the rise even in Botswana, along with hypertension. So this is taken very seriously, and the government hospitals have brought in fundus cameras also to ensure that the statistics are captured well. So the government has taken it serious, and at all the government hospitals, diabetes is checkup and treatment is also given at no cost to the patients. So that is a good thing. So if they do not have medical aid, they can always approach the small clinics run by the government or the hospitals. And Botswana is one of the kindest country, I would say, that gives away, especially from the government side, gives away a lot of medicines free to the the community and the public. So yes, we do a lot of diabetic project. That is from the government side. Private practitioners, ophthalmologists, most of them have the fundus camera, the screening facility for diabetes. General practitioners also do have. And the laboratories also involved in community care. For example, we have two major labs, especially the Diagnofirm and the Lancer laboratories, which come, I would say, more of to do community service. There's one coming up on Friday. And we also do even for employees. It is not only for the elderly or at Kotlas. Kotlas is the place where the villagers meet under the leadership of the village heads. So that is where we bring in, and we have voluntary social workers who go around among village members to create awareness. And at private practice, optometry practice, we have two setups, two optometrists who have the fundus camera. From humble beginnings, we were able to buy a fundus camera. So we are one of the practices which has as an optometrist. Of course, we do not have the cornea topographers and OCTs. We refer to the ophthalms. And the other optometrists whose practice is placed 400 kilometers away from the capital city of Botswana also have the fundus camera. And that is a very optometrist who is no more, but his wife has taken over to run it, employing an optometrist from Ghana, and they do these kind of services. So research projects are being done. Diabetes is taken seriously by both general practitioners, government, healthcare professionals, and even optometrists.
There are a couple of congratulations from senior Optoms, Optom Lata ma'am and Optom Kumaran, sir. And we have another question from Mr. Saran. Due to time, and I will just take this last question. How much successful is the Pono area? I think that is My Vision. I just searched for it. My Vision program named as Pono in Botswana. And how is the compliance towards the program?
Okay. So somebody has gone and done the homework and gone through it. Who is the questionnaire? Who's the one who's raised the question?
This
Yeah,
is
this is
Saravanan, who
our
is our
community optometrist.
Oh, is it Saravanan?
This is
Saravanan,
Saravanan,
yes. See, Botswana was one of the few countries which brought in the PEAK project, a portable eye examination kit. And that was brought in by a UK-based ophthalmologist. He himself had visual impairment when he was young, and that led him to create a device on the phone. And it's again on the phone, so it's a double-edged sword here. So he brought in this project to Botswana, and as Botswana Optometrists Association, we were called. So private and government of the optometrists are very few in the government hospitals, and both of us were called in to support this project, and I was the refractive coordinator for this, and it was an auspicious moment for me because the project was close to the heart, but I'm not very comfortable with the phone kind of way of examination. I would rather use a vision chart and rather give a phone to the child at that particular distance. Or maybe I'm used to working with Snellen's chart. I'm more comfortable with it rather than using the phone. But what I found was, I was part of the project and I was hands-on there. What if the speed of service? You can do lot of screening at some point. You can train even a non-optometrist to screen and then send them for refractive evaluation. The main thing is refractive evaluation and compliance. So I would say we had visitors from UK to support this project. They funded this project for a period. We chose a district, Good Hope district. We did around 1,200 children, out of which 840 children were given glasses free of cost. They were screened. Can you imagine? Out of 1,200 in a small district, 840 children for a 2.6 million population. Then the population would have been 2.3 million. The number was really high, and this project did help because that Good Hope is an outreach. It's not in the central part, and there's no optometrist there. They would have a small clinic run by the government where the ophthalmic nurse would evaluate them, but they won't do. Their scope of practice does not allow refraction, or optometry service or vision therapy, and so they will have to be referred back to us. So yes, the initial PEAK project was a success. Thereafter, it is a dream of the current president of Botswana, Dr. Masisi, and he did mention that every child in Botswana should be evaluated for screening and for the evaluation. He didn't mention as optometry, but he said eye examination and should have the right to sight and quality of life. And that is his dream at the moment when it comes to eye care health. It is a dream for him. And the project is still in the process of next stage, and we are waiting to be called, be it private practice or as Botswana Optometrists Association, because without optometrists, the project would be incomplete. And the Ministry of Health are very well aware, though the screening and the ground level, it is done by the ophthalmic nurse. The ophthalmic nurses would refer to us in the next stage. So hope I have answered your query. And you don't need only the Ministry of Health. We like the partnership. It's called PPP, Public-Private Partnership. We as private practitioners, instead of just making money for ourselves, we can at least spend 5% of our time and resources towards the government to support their dream. So we don't need only government to run this. We need to step up and support. And every World Sight Day, there would be some activities going on at the government hospitals to ensure this reach out to the community.
Yeah.
Hope Saravana have answered. Shanmuga, Saravana, Muruga, have I answered?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. For the want of time, I would like to close it. Thank you so much for the inspiring talk, and we will like to have you in some other session when you visit India at Acchutha's to inspire more of our students. And wishing everybody a very happy World Sight Day again. Thank you for having it with us today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, love thy neighbor, love yourself, and love your eyes.
Thank you. Thank you everybody for patient listening. Have a nice evening. Bye bye.